Okay, let's go over the editing keyboard shortcuts, and we have a lot to cover in this section. So for our first shortcut, we want to edit a cell. So over here, for example, we want to change the contents of the cell. So we will be pressing F2. If I do that, I'll just add an exclamation and we're done. Next is flash fill. Flash fill is actually one of the coolest functionalities in Excel, in my opinion. And over here, we have this table. And what you can see on the first two examples is we're trying to get the number from this sentence over here. And what flash fill will do is if I go here, we are going to be pressing Control E, and it will be able to infer what you're trying to do in the previous examples and then do the rest on the entire table. So you can see over here, it got all of the numbers from the sentences. I didn't even use a formula or anything, but it was intelligent enough to know what I was trying to do. So our next example over here is copyright. So what we want to do is press Control R, and I'll just press this one on this cell over here, Control R, and it will copy Hello World. Next one is copy down, which is Control D. So if I select this cell now, and I'll press Control D, and it will copy the value down. The next one is undo. So if we want to undo a specific action that we just did, we press Control Z. So if I do this right now, it will remove the Hello World. So the next example is redo, which is redo the last action that I did, so which is Control Y. So if I do that right now, it's gonna redo the same thing. And then next is select all. It's a pretty handy way of selecting everything. So if I just go somewhere in this sheet, I'll press Control A. It's gonna select the section, or if I select in here, it's gonna select the entire sheet if I press Control A. Next one is Control S, which is for saving. So it's similar to this button over here. And if I press Control S, it's gonna save the worksheet as well on all of the changes that you did. Next one is find, which is Control F. So if I go here and I type in, let's pick the number 47512, go find next, and you will be able to find what you need. Next one is Control G, which is go to special. So it's pretty cool as well over here. So if I press Control G, it's gonna show up this panel. And let's say I want to go to cell A14, and you could see that it immediately highlights it on what I specified in the Control G panel. Next one is replace, which is Control H. So let me press that right now, Control H. And now you want to replace, let's say 47512 with 12345. And I'll click replace all, and you can see that it got changed as well over here. Next up is Control X, which is for cut. So if we want to cut this one, okay, so you could see that there's this highlighted cell over here. And if we go to a different cell, for example, and which brings to the next keyboard shortcut, which is paste, and that is Control V. So I'll do that right now. And it's gonna be pasting it to whatever you selected. Next one is copy, which is Control C. So if I press Control C right now, and let's say highlight all of these fields over here, and I'll be reusing the paste keyboard shortcut, which is Control V, it's gonna be pasting the content. So you could see that it didn't move or remove the content in here because we didn't use cut, because cut would pretty much move it to a different location, and copy would retain it in its original value and just pasted it on whatever you highlighted. Last keyboard shortcut for editing is fill down. So you could see here that if, for example, I highlight all of these rows over here, okay, so let me add this here. I'll type in 1, 2, 3. The keyboard shortcut for fill down is Control Enter. So if I press this right now, it's gonna fill the rest of the cells with the same value.